somebody. Well, I don't know if I've seen enough Christopher Nolan. What movies did he have? I may not even seen them.
In the Batman trilogy, Inception. Oh yeah, that was a really good. Interstellar. Inception. I will say.
Okay,
Inception
so I've heard all of those are good, but I haven't seen any of those.
Oh, okay. I will say this though, his Inception. His Inception movie was a copy of an anime, though. I will say that, but
what do you think about the adaptation of that versus the anime?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it was a complete adaptation, that's one thing, but he completely, I won't say plagiarized, but there's two films. It was, one series, it was a Big O that had that same concept from 1999. Paprika, I think is what it was called. It almost seemed like he took scene from scene the exact same idea, I would say. But I mean, but regardless of the fact, though, it still was really good. The concept was still really, the way the cinematography was good. I think his concept, especially with the Dark Knight trilogy that he did, which was kind of different. Definitely I would say Inception was one of the best trilogies you ever watched, I think. So I would say, if you're comparing a filmographer or a director or producer, right, he's definitely way heads and shoulders better than someone like Zack Snyder or somebody like that, or someone like, who was the one that produced some trash-ass Transformer movies back in the 2000s? Michael Bay. He's way better than those two.
Oh, yeah. Hey, not too much on the Transformer movies. The bitches was heat when they first dropped.
I mean, yeah, visually they were, but the dude didn't really understand the Transformers. He never read the comics, never watched the TV shows. He made the
that's where a lot of the complaints come from too. People who actually read the book, or people who be in the comics, and then they make the movies. They be like, this shit is nothing like the comic.
That one director wasn't even a fan, bro. That's crazy.
No, well, see, here's the thing, though. The designs. I mean, my thing is like the way the Autobots were designed in the first films. The Decepticons were supposed to be designed the exact same way. They're not supposed to be designed looking like monsters with no fucking personality and shit. And I ain't gonna lie, man. As a Transformers fan, reading the comic books, the ones from the '80s and the ones from the early 2000s before that specific company got bankrupt. When I was, excited to watch the film, but when I watched it and I saw that the American military is easily taking these motherfuckers out with saber rounds, but in the fucking comics, these dudes are destroying whole fucking countrysides. One of them taking out a whole militaries and shit. That shit pissed me the fuck off watching that shit. Like, what are you doing trying to big up the American military industrial complex against an advanced race of robots from a whole other planet? Like, come on, man. But even then, but even with that aspect, it's just they barely focus on the Transformers. They focus on, what's his name's character, and Megan Fox's character, and them other characters more so than the actual characters who were supposed to be the star attractions of the movie. But that's just another story for another day. My bad.
I just want to say I will not be seeing this stupid movie with stupid Matt Damon. I could give two shits about this fucking movie. I'd rather read a book, go to the gym, go out and have a nice night, eat a nice dinner, go to a great club. I give a fuck about it. And I love how a lot of the big talkers in here who got political opinions and shit, they got opinions on everything, especially media. Gay, stupid fucking movies, picking your toes in Poughkeepsie, eating your buttered popcorn with your large, extra large Diet Coke and your caramel candy like little children, little boys and girls that never grew up. Oh, I can't wait to see this new movie. It's gonna make my life complete, finally. I never read a philosophy book in my fucking life, but I got a fucking opinion on a stupid fucking movie. I got a stupid opinion about a stupid fucking movie, but I never read a book about philosophy. Never figured nothing out. But boy, I'm a movie critic. I'm a Clubhouse movie critic.
I feel like this movie.
My career is finally taking off as a Clubhouse movie critic, and I can't wait for the world to find out what I thought about this great fucking movie, because it makes my life complete. Hello?
The hell is he talking about? I don't know.
Where are we? What are we talking about here now?
Well, I heard they also talking about the movie. They just came in complaining about us talking about the movie. I also heard they had a problem with Achilles' character being a transgender or some shit like that.
Wait, you got transgender in there?
Yeah, that was another.
What other cultural thing did they just throw at us? You know what I mean? Who is it? Like,
Achilles. They said the character Achilles is a trans.
Yeah, it is, and you're sitting here laughing about that. That shit is disrespectful to Achilles and all that.
What?
Elliot Page is her name, or his name, whatever you want to call it.
Man, fuck that tranny. What you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
no, that's what he said. It's disrespectful to put that on that character.
Yeah, that's not.
It is
There's
disrespectful.
no way Homer wrote that with a transgender in mind. Okay, let's not. Okay, I can't even go there.
No, it's true. No, you can go there. It's also true that fucking Ariel the mermaid is white. She shouldn't be reincarnated as black. Not actually her, but on the Disney movie.
Crazy times, guys. Crazy times.
Wait, did you watch the movie? That was not Achilles.
Alright, so who is
Yeah, it
Elliot
wasn't
Page?
Achilles, it was another character, but the
Sidon.
transgender.
It was not the original Iliad or the Odyssey, but it was in the later work.
Achilles is in the Iliad, not the Odyssey.
No, I know, but Sidon was in the Aeneid, which was much later, when they retold the story. But anyway, they took that character, but that was not Achilles at all, so I don't know what everyone riled up about.
Okay, well, Jeff, you're playing nuanced games.
Well-
Anyways, Elliot Page is a transgender, and they made her a
Yes.
fucking Greek warrior.
Yeah, that wasn't Achilles, though. Right.
It was not Achilles. Achilles was like,
No,
Greek warrior.
Okay, who cares?
We don't care. It's not Achilles. But just the fact that they made a character with that person, what do you think of that, Jeff? What do you think about that?
I don't really care.
You should be disgusted and think it's disrespectful.
Wait, why?
Because, bro, in what world was a Greek warrior a woman that was born a woman?
Well, actually, no. Remember in the underworld, right, where they're talking to the dead, and Percy says he's talking to Tiresias, who's like this blind, like foreseer who tells the future. From my understanding, there are interpretations where Tiresias was actually not a man or a woman, but like switched between them. So it's not like the Greeks didn't know about shit like this, you know. If I have 200, Tiresias, who was in the movie.
I forgot they went that.
I forgot about this as like 21st century white people are, you know, or black.
You know what's better than actually going to the movies?
Well, Jeff, that's the reason why, because most people have not read
A
and
book.
understood that there's multiple.
Oh yeah, they told so many times, so many times. Yeah.
Okay, Jeff. So Jeff, but see, but watch this though, right? But they'll be okay with this, and they'll watch series like Shogun, right? And they'll watch Braveheart. You don't understand, right? Well, it's specifically like with Shogun, right? It was, that was based off of a book about the things that were going on politically in Japan, with the damn Catholics coming up in there and doing a full reformation on their country. But the scenes that happened in that book are all pure fictional, right? And there's certain things in the book that was not put in the actual 10-episode series. Same thing with Braveheart. There were certain scenes and certain historical inaccuracies, but nobody talks about that, and people just praise the film and shit, and it was a really good film. But at the same time, there were some historical inaccuracies from the standpoint of certain battles and shit
What is it? Is it a history book or something? It's a fictionalized dramatic movie, you dumb motherfucker. Doesn't gotta be accurate, and you ain't gotta articulate or ejaculate. All you gotta know is the truth of the earth, and you're like a child sitting here talking about movies like a little fucking child. Cocksucker like me can complain. That's what a cocksucker does. Cocksucker complain about cocksuckers just talking about the fucking the moon, picking their toes and picking. You know all about movies. You on the?
No, I'm not saying I suck cock.
Riabia knows all about movies. He had to get the bus cam footage from these young girls he molested on the bus. He's like his own director on the bus with little girls that he abuses.
No spoilers.
Woman has hidden of true racist. I don't have any idea what that story is. I was just paying attention to your discussion because I don't have any idea what this is. I am more focused on the war right now. Allah is being fucked and I am really exhilarated.
Peter, what app are you on right now? What's the name of the app that you're on?
That's, I'm not comfortable with sharing this with you.
You're not sure?
What? Oh shit! Can we get a translator?
Because he thinks that he wants to...
Corporate, what is he saying? Corporate, please help us.
No, nobody's
New York Strip.
He's rather comfortable.
We are uncomfortable too. So what we gonna do about this, man? Help me.
Who is we in this?
Help, man. Help.
Peter, is this movie just peanuts and circus for the American population as we decimate Iran and take us into World War III, Dr. Peter?
It's something that you want, right? Alistair Crowley, worse than that motherfucker.
Listen, if you want to talk about movies, Riabia here is his own bus director. He makes bus films with young girls.
John, is Iran over a woman? This war, is it over a woman? I don't know.
A woman?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to say Israel is a woman, but I like to think Israel is trans, not necessarily a woman per se. Well, anyways, I'm just saying it's bread and circus and peanuts for the retards, and here you all are.
And you're the same person that worked for the CIA that orchestrated
As an Iranian, just for...
But no, man, I got a question for you, man. I got a question for you, man.
What the fuck Palestine?
What? Allah is not the Palestine is part of the problem.
Peter, shut your bitch ass up, nigga.
You know what's better than me,
So my question, I'm gonna speak over this guy. I don't think this dude's brains work. So my question is, right? What scene? I'm not to regurgitate the scene, right? Because you were talking about a woman. Are they fighting over a woman? Kill me over a woman. A woman. What movie is that from?
Wait, what? It was a quote you just said, or what?
Yeah, as a quote. My.
Do it again.
All right. You kill me over a woman. A woman. You must be insane.
Oh, dude.
Oh wow.
What is it? What do you got? Batman?
There you go. Well, which Batman? Which Batman?
Familiar, but I wasn't too sure.
Which Batman?
Second one.
I got you on that. So, it's close enough. It's the first one with Jack Nicholson. Yeah, before when he turned into the Joker and killed the motherfucker to try to off him.
Char, did you see the movie yet?
I'm gonna go see it in IMAX next week.
Has it came out yet? Odyssey.
It's out right now, yeah.
Oh shit! I'm about to go watch that.
Yeah.
It's got all the A-listers in there.
Yeah, what do you make of the casting? Any controversy in your mind or no?
Well, if you want to be controversial, you know, this is how you do it. Because not only did they put a black woman as the Queen Helen,
They pick the blackest of women. So there's that. But I will say this: I don't think white people should be alarmed because we had to watch that horrendous take of the Egyptian gods, the gods of Egypt. Are we serious, white people? Ain't nothing Egyptian about y'all. Y'all had a tan and made a whole movie and thought y'all was Egyptian gods. And that's just one of the many atrocities y'all put on a TV screen. So, I will say, I'm not for a complete erasure of, I think Angelina Jolie would have been a good choice. She's a bit old. We need a fair-skinned white woman to be in that role. But it is what it is. I think fair is fair. Y'all had y'all whitewashing, so this is okay.
I think it should have been whitewashed because everyone in that time period was white, not black. So to hire,
They were
to have
olive.
that, who's that? No, but bro, who is that bitch to complain she didn't get enough screen time? The African woman?
Whoa, why she gotta be a B word?
Because she was acting like a bitch, honestly.
Talking about little Peter Ninjago.
Why was she
Yes.
screen time?
I don't know if she's a bitch in general, but she was acting like a bitch when she said that.
Oh, well, maybe that's her sentiment. Maybe she wanted more screen time.
Well, I mean, too bad, huh?
Would she not want more money?
Bro, I mean, look, why
So
should
if
she get
you
more
was in an
screen time?
A-list movie like that, would you not want more money? What's the problem?
I would keep my mouth shut and be grateful.
Okay then. So ain't we all complaining in America?
Appropriation to take.
Of course you can't complain in America.
Okay then. So why can't she complain in this instance?
I mean, can we all get mad in America?
You see what I'm saying? It's a circle.
Hey, Mr. Chicken, I got you. You know what's funny? Okay, watch this, right? Now, I mean, I believe that everybody that's in that movie, based off of the pottery and the actual figurines, I mean, they all look like a bunch of Negroes in certain historical books. But if you want to bypass that, I'll PTR the book that I'm talking about. And there's other books.
Please, no, drop the book. One book.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm talking like
niggas on there.
Yeah. I'll drop 3 or 4 books, but
Not a single Odyssey in the picture I see.
yeah, no, watch this.
Is not one of them. Not
Watch
even
this.
Cyclops.
Okay, watch this. So, right, how come these guys are complaining about this, right? But why? So, I'm pretty sure everybody watched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Watched the Avengers. Where are these same people at? This is just, critical thinking, right? People just like to be mad about everything, right? Doesn't matter if it's black or white. They always cry about something, right? In this country. So let's deal with this. So, Black Widow, right? What region and what race is Black Widow? Which, I mean, she's Caucasian, but where is she from?
She's from Russia.
She's not a real.
She's Russian.
She's Russian, right? So how come they casted girl, man, fucking
Are you talking about what's her name? Yes, Scarlett
Johansson, right? So let's deal with that. She's a white woman, everything, right? Cool.
With some ass. Well, she had ass.
Well, she was a looker for a couple of years.
Lost it by the Infinity War. She was cooked.
Yeah, I mean, she started getting cooked in her mid-30s. I don't know what the fuck she did to herself, but look, she has no Russian accent like she has in the comics, and she herself isn't Russian. Where's the uproar?
I don't have no idea.
So if you follow the comics, in the comics, she started off as a Russian spy. Then she got brought over to the U.S. so she learned English. And also, when it comes to spies learn multiple languages all the time. So it still fits.
But in the comic, but throughout the comics that I've read, right, and I'm talking about like the 2000s, late 2010s, even in the 90s, she still had the Russian accent. They even, they put the punctuations of the Russian accent here.
I'll tell you what, because it's too much of a trend where black people are getting all this dick sucking, and this is a clear example.
I think you're doing a lot of black people.
Wait, no.
I don't know how you put in black people in this conversation.
Yeah, this is funny as fuck.
This is a lot of.
All right. Let me make it more. I'm sorry for being aggressive. Because first of all, they look alike. If I looked at her, I wouldn't know she wasn't Russian. If I look at the other woman, I would know she was not the same as the other woman she's playing. Right? Does that make some sense at least a little bit?
Wait, say it again. Say the last part.
like you don't know she's not Russian. She's a white, but this one is a black white.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And look, I don't have no problem. I'm not no racist at all. Like
I don't want to see a black Captain America. I just be honest with you. I think the new one, well, technically based off the comics, the first Captain America was black. So the narrative is fair. But let's just say this. Let's just say Steve Rogers in the context of Captain America. Let's say the main Captain America we talk about was black. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be like, why is the source material being infringed like this? That's like Black Panther being white. I'd be a little bit upset. You know what I'm saying?
But watch this though, Mr. Shea. Watch this though. I know I get that part because now people shouldn't complain about Falcon being Captain America because they did it 12, 15 years ago. They even did it with Bucky. Yeah. They even did it with Bucky being taken on the mantle. That's just
that was fake outrage.
Yeah, that's fake outrage. Now I will say this. I mean, if we were talking about, let's say if it was 20 years ago, let's say if it was in the 90s and they pulled something like that, from what I'm seeing, I don't think people would have really complained as much as we're seeing nowadays because once again, people complain about everything. But let's deal with something, right? Let's deal with this aspect. Tim Burton produced 2 very good Batman films, right? Little do people know, the third and fourth film, if he would have stayed on, right? And of course, the one faggot director that came in, changed the whole fucking, pretty much destroyed that movie franchise. But that's another story for another day. And he would have stayed on. He said that he was going to make Robin black. So I wonder how much of this shit is this complaining, that's going on right now. How much would have people really complained back then? You know what I'm saying? Like, because because then they're talking about the race swaps. Now, race swap versus historical actors, this is a whole different thing because we're dealing with fictional characters. They've been doing race swaps since the 60s. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like, how much of this shit is really just a bunch of fucking online people crying and shit, and really just crying over nothing.
Well, I'll say this. As a person, because I used to work in a movie theater back in high school, and so going to movie theaters still is near and dear to my heart. And if AI takes them out, I will burn America to its socks. I'm gonna say this. When it comes to flicks, and I like accuracy. I really do. And when it comes to Marvel specifically in this conversation, I fucks with Marvel, man. And I think keeping as close as we can to the original source material is something that I think who made the Marvel what's his name? The white man who did all the
Stan Lee, is that Stan Lee?
Yeah, Stan Lee. I think we would do a disservice to what he was putting out because as a black person, what a lot of people don't realize in Marvel is that one of the greatest characters in Marvel Comics is black. That Stan Lee created. His name is Blue Marvel. Look it up. One of those
He didn't create Blue Marvel.
Well, either way, he's in it. He didn't make Blue Marvel.
No, Blue Marvel came in the 70s. It was a black dude that created it. His name is I've seen him in a couple of interviews. I forget his name, man.
A lot of the characters he didn't come up with. Someone else came up with them. Like
okay, so fair, but the universe itself, like the concepts, and this is still source material. Like this is like the names I'm giving out.
He didn't come up with. He only came up with the original. Okay, with the X-Men.
Just like Star Wars, is the same thing.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But but yeah, I will say this, brother. Like Stan Lee created majority of the like the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the original 6 X-Men members, right? Which is Margot, Jean Grey.
Fantastic Four, my bad.
So you also have the Hulk and all the. So you have those characters that he came up with. But later on, like a lot of these characters, like Venom and a lot of these other characters that we saw, like he didn't specifically create those characters. He stopped writing for Marvel in the 70s, but they still gave him like royalties and credit for certain things. So like someone like Wolverine or Storm or fucking Colossus or
Storm.
He didn't create none of those characters. He didn't create Rogue. He didn't create none of those guys.
I was gonna say the boy who created Spawn, he the one that created Venom and shit.
Yeah, they took his idea.
Well, let me land with this. So to Char, you have a point. But it's still like it still started with him, and it's still a lot of the people that laid out are still part of the Marvel lexicon. I'll say this. I don't. I think white people in the concern of whitewashing or black people taking substitute insert, like for instance Ariel in Disney. I thought that was. I mean, I grew up seeing a white Ariel, so I thought they would cast a white Ariel. It was a little bit odd, but here's the thing though. Her being black doesn't do anything to the original context of the storyline as it stands. Like, let's be very clear. The Little Mermaid is a fictional story. So you could put it, she could be Asian. It means nothing. But when we talk about, like, well, that's a little bit unfair because Marvel's fiction. I'm a land. Look, Matt, I'm going to say this. I get y'all's concern, but I also don't get it at the same time.
But I mean, I find this actually like horribly offensive, and the reason being is like, okay, Helen of Troy may have to do with Greek mythology, but you have one of the oldest European civilizations, and no, like some we don't have to see some ape-like looking bitch being one of our fucking people.
See, this is where we gotta be a little bit.
No.
We gotta do that.
Okay, so
Why she gotta be?
you guys look like a
Like, we gotta look
Shut
at
up.
you, Pepe.
Well, like
You look like a chicken nugget.
disgusting.
You look
Like,
like
we should have a beautiful fucking
you
white
look
woman,
like
a
you
Greek
look like a
woman in
chicken nugget.
particular. Hold on, we should have like a beautiful, Mediterranean-looking white woman playing fucking Helen of Troy. Okay,
This is a racist.
You could have gone
It's not even your fault to be
you could have
racist.
gone with maybe like somebody who's near
Maybe
Eastern.
they should put you up there, Pepe. Put you in a dress and make you the Helen of Troy.
So, we could have gone with somebody who was like.
We should advocate for you to go up there and do some acting.
We could have gone with a Near Eastern looking woman, maybe a more Germanic looking woman, that's a little bit pushing it. But, the fact that we have to get some ugly black bitch at the play, like the Helen of Troy, is fucking offensive. Our cultures are not the same. We created civilizations that your people never fucking could have. And quite frankly, we can look at this. They're fucking
offensive if you're not a fucking
What do
child.
Queens make? What they do? What the people do? What's Curse of Queen history? What the fuck they do? Besides take on the mantle of being white that Protestant European kid, Anglo-Saxons did. What's the Curse of Queen? What's y'all's history?
Can we not get into that because
Well, I mean, so hold up, relax.
Corsican
Hold
very
on,
small.
So go. So here's the thing.
The most powerful man that ruled the fucking
We were having
world for
a chill
literally
dialogue.
Napoleon. If we look at the Napoleonic laws,
You think that was a chill dialogue?
He made it unchill, though. He made it unchill with that kid. Why she gotta be an ape? Like, why she can't just, you know what I'm saying?
because compared to a Greek woman, black women are
Okay, Pepe, that's your fucking opinion, bro. So, like,
Why
black.
you gotta do that?
Y'all know he gotta center himself when he come in every fucking.
Yeah, Curse of Queen history.
Pepe, you know
That's why they don't
some
want me.
people
That's
think
why they
they're
don't want
beautiful.
me in the Heritage Works. They know I'll take over the room.
Yeah, cause
These
you
faggots
fucking.
are
you're doing it right now.
You know that
That's
Little Fry.
Matt and Bieber
never
really
gotta-
white America babies. Now they're using titles like I used to use. I think it's cute.
Pepe, and honestly, you're just a boxer. You're just a boxer. You don't practice any other fighting style. So why are you so confident?
Wait, Pepe, you box?
Confident I used to. Confident in what? If you used to be a boxer to make a claim about civilization.
So you ain't whipping no ass.
The bit you say is so crazy, and I'm wondering why you feel you can say that so nonchalant.
Why can't I say it?
Because you'll get your ass kicked in real life.
You're gonna kick my ass. You're gonna kick my ass tonight.
I fucking go.
You're gonna kick my ass tonight.
No, I'm not gonna kick your ass. I'm just saying. Do you say this shit in real life?
No.
I mean, I don't go out of
You
my
say
way.
you get your ass beat, boy.
Do I go out of my way? Like, if somebody's walking with their wife, and I say, wow, your wife is fucking hideous. No, I'm not gonna say that. That's rude.
But I'm saying, Pepe, if this conversation was in real life, you would not come through like the way you did and say, oh, this black.
If I knew them, I mean, you have to know your audience.
but you don't know
You're not
anybody.
doing that.
It's okay, bro. It's
Am I gonna go up to a random black person and compare? You're asking me if I can go
You're
up to
not
a
built like
random.
the building.
I
You're
don't
not
even
like
touch.
As friends and
Okay, I won't
you
even
are
cuss.
friends. You a Christian friend.
Sure, but I won't even cuss in front of of people I don't know because I don't know how else to get.
So why do you do that here? Like, what is the point of you
Because
coming
it's
in
the
like
fucking truth. And no, you guys are so polite on here. Oh my god.
It's not the truth.
Oh my
it's your
God.
opinion, and you can hold back your opinion for 1 second.
Now stop asking them questions, please. Let's keep the conversation going that we was having.
All right.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, even, whatever. We all have
Hey, Matt, thank you for letting me have a chance to talk about Marvel history. I appreciate it because I really get deep into it.
I'm not a big movie buff, so just catching up like that's pretty good too. I like that too, Anybody else seen the movie, first of all? Who out there has seen it? Mother, have you seen it at all or no?
It's called
I haven't seen it, but I wanted to comment on the topic at some point.
Go ahead. You're up.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because, the way I kind of was thinking about it, people were throwing, I don't know if you guys watch House of Dragons, and people were throwing a tantrum because one of the families is a black family or whatever. And then people just got over it. They talked about that for like a solid 5 days, and then now nobody cares, and they're watching black people on dragons and not giving a fuck, right? I think with the Helen of Troy situation, right, it's different because we all know this society is super anti-black, very, very racist society. So putting a black woman in that context is a little bit strange, and it's almost ignores the reality of the anti-blackness and racism of that period, and almost devalues her as an actress, because really she should have denied this role and found a better role for herself that didn't humiliate her, given the historical context. I mean, at some point, people have said she did a good job or whatever, but I think it's a weird way to play. I would never have accepted that role, but
That's an interesting point. So by empowering her in this way, is an insult to the time period of that period?
It's an insult. It's actually an insult to her.
Yeah,
it's to black people in general.
That's not true.
So wait, so how is it an insult to her?
That don't make sense. It was black rulers and shit back then. What are you talking about?
No, there was not. No, there wasn't.
Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy that society that she's representing is not, and it was not one of those.
Society
was not one of those.
In this world, they were.
Well, the movie
Yeah,
is
so
about that society.
guys, you gotta understand some other. I think I agree with you to some extent because here's the thing: this movie is based off of Greek mythology. Now, all the while it's a myth, still I can understand there's a historical appreciation given the context and source material in which it was given. Greeks, yes, we can talk about the congregation of Africanus people going through Europe and in the Isles, whatever. But like in Troy, I agree with Mother. Historically, Helen would not be black. It's just not. No.
So why the fuck is she black? Exactly, I agree with you.
Nobody
can answer it though.
It could be the what do y'all call it? The liberal stuff.
Exactly, that is what it is. Good answer.
Good answer.
I mean, I think when we were to say that, like at least on the conservative side, we would get blasted out of this room for saying that was the angle. You guys realize that, right?
No, Matt, you would never get blasted out of your own room.
Well, not my own room. I'm talking about in other rooms. We go, what other rooms I'm talking about. If I were to go up on stage and go, oh, this is a progressive angle, they would just go like crazy, like really crazy.
They'd probably kick you the fuck out, man.
Yeah, they would, like within a minute.
You want to know why she's black? Is because exactly what's going on here. It's driving people to the box office.
Yep.
Because of the controversy.
Yeah, meaning.
That's a good point.
Nobody on the left cares. There's no controversy on the left, right?
Wait,
It's
I
all
want him to jump.
right-wing fabrication. You guys are so easy to bait.
Ooh, you got a point.
I actually partially agree with that. I don't think anyone on the left cares. They're just watching
Charlie,
the
he's
movie.
really saying, like, if I were to go on stage and go, God, this is such a progressive
kind of way of doing things, this casting of this lady. You don't think I'm gonna get some shit for it? What, Darl? What do you got there?
I think people who criticize the skin color of characters in movies need to find other hobbies, because that's fucking loserish behavior.
So, Drew, why the fuck should we sit down and like just think it's cool to have somebody playing an important character that doesn't look or act or isn't the same race?
I partially
Like,
agree
you
with
make a movie go, you can decide the skin tones of the characters in your movie. I think we should leave it up to the producers and the artists to come up with the story they want to tell.
Okay.
Well, no.
You want Darl? Do you want MLK played by a white person?
Fucking care less. Genuinely.
Wow.
The movie,
That's
you guys
a
are talking
real
about
life-
Greeks not being black. Bitch, the Greeks didn't speak English. So go watch the movie in whatever fucking language it is.
I like that. I like that.
The Zulus, okay, the Zulus
I like that.
speak Ebonics.
I like that too, Joe.
But obviously, you guys would have a problem if you had white ass playing a fucking Zulu warrior. And you should. Because my flat white ass, my flat, like, small white man bum would not be looking, when I'm wearing a loincloth, it'd be sunburned, and it would not look like an affected Zulu fighting off the British. It would not. And it's an abomination to have a cracker like me play one of these African warriors. And one of
Yeah, it would definitely be an abomination to have a cracker
That's
like
Zulu
that.
Warriors,
I thought
and they really,
But I thought you was Mexican and
they
French,
fictional
though.
characters.
I thought you was Mexican and French, Pepe.
That was still making
I'm
half
not
crackers.
Mexican. Everybody likes to call me Mexican, so I go with
Because
it.
the Mexicans
People call me
be
Mexican.
racist.
Okay, watch. Okay, but here's the thing, though, right? Watch this, though, right? Let's play that angle on that game, right? Or let's just use that talking point, right? How come? Okay, it's like this, right? You can say that and whatnot and have that belief, right? But here's the thing, though. Like whenever you talk about the Zulus, you talk about the Egyptians and whatnot. That's who the motherfuckers used to be, right? How come in every fucking Egyptian movie, like Egyptian of the Gods, with the dude that played Batman, back in the Christopher Nolan films, right? How come we see them all depicted as white, right? But then here it is, like, the ancient Egyptians.
Oh yeah,
Because Batman is white.
Almost all of the. So there were some new. The Nubians. It depends on which parts of Egypt, but most of the dynasties, they were. I'm saying genetically. This is pre-Arab, contact with the Arabs. They were far more. They were basically the same group as Europeans, but split off.
That's not what the pictogram showed. That's not what the
They were far more similar to Europeans. Africa is a huge continent. When you look at a globe, it doesn't really show proportionally how big it is, but you can stuff fucking like the length from the eastern edge of Europe all the way to the western edge of to where Japan is. That Africa can fucking devour that. That it is a huge continent, and so in the northern part, you had people that were not black. I don't know how else to put this. It's a huge, just like how on the Eurasian continent you have white people on one end, you have Middle Eastern people kind of in the middle, you have Indians a little bit further east, and you have Chinese people. We are all different, okay? But kind of like in Africa, you have this huge fucking continent, and yeah, you have the people at the top that are not black. For whatever reason, there's some black people that are offended by that, but that is the reality.
Listen, let me say this, right? Now, do I think that...
Wait, how is that the reality? Who's at the top that's white in Africa? Isn't the president black? Isn't, like, the whole government mostly black?
If you look at Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, these are, today they're Arabized. I mean, they're what you would call Middle Eastern people.
You got a lot of Muslims there, yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, man, look, at the end of the day, when you look at real quick, I just wanted to, and you can go ahead. When you deal with the actual depictions of them, and I don't care about none of this DNA, genetic aspect, because when it comes to actual bloodline and lineages, it's going to tell you 25, 35 fucking different things, right? And the ancients dealt with the bloodline of the patriarch bloodline, right? Which is dealing with the father's seed line. Well, regardless of that fact, when I looked at the pictograms and the hieroglyphs, right? And they even show this in that fucking Alexander movie, right? They understand that the motherfuckers were called black ass Africans. They look no different than the Watusis, the Zulus, the Nilotic people, like the Sudanese, and so on and so forth, right? The Dinka. That's who they look like, right? Or that's who they look like. They don't look anything like this concept of the Indo-European.
You're talking about the Nubians, though. The Nubians were in a part of Egypt's a huge.
The Nile River. Yeah, but
yes,
but they're right
you go
next
down
to
to
each
the
other.
Nile River, and you can look. You get into even Central Africa. So yes, there were people crossing through along. That's like the one part of the African continent where you can traverse from North Africa through Sub-Saharan Africa, and that is the Nile. For the rest of it, you literally had hundreds of miles of fucking desert, which that was nearly impossible to pass unless you had water source. And of course, waters don't live on. Animals to hunt don't live on sand. Vegetation doesn't grow on sand, so you would die trying to cross it. But along the Nile, you could. And so, yes, you absolutely had people that you would consider black that were part of the different dynasties. But the reality is, though, for the majority of Egypt's history, the large dynasties there, especially in the north, they were not black. This isn't me. And I'm not saying that they were white either. They're kind of similar to how Arabs are separate from whites, but they have shared lineage. They are.
The only white dynasty that I know of, right? The only ones that were white, and this is where most people get their talking points from in the images from the time of the Ptolemaic dynasty, right? Of the four, because Ptolemy Soter, who was given Soter the first, who was given that land allotment of the four kings, the four generals of Alexander when they conquered that area. So during that time, you could say that those were Caucasians that took over that specific part of Egypt, and through that dynasty was the Ptolemaic dynasty. I have a book on that, where their dynasty was nothing but white Egyptians. And of course Cleopatra, she was a mixed breed.
But she was Macedonian.
Yeah, honestly, sorry, no disrespect. How do you know only one type of white dynasty? This is
because I'm
A million is crazy.
I'm going.
But if you look at, I know you're not into the genetic thing, but I'd say you can look at like King Tut's tomb, and I don't see a belt.
Cleopatra was a half white woman, so I will give you that part.
But I would say that like when it comes to genetics, so there's old haplogroups that you see amongst them. I believe it's a Q. It's a very old one that few people have. There's a few people in Europe that have it, like the Basque and the Sardinians, and then you have people in North Africa. And so, in other words, look, we're all distantly related to each other, but I'm trying to think of how to put this. So we did not see any substantial sub-Saharan African lineage amongst, especially in Alexandria, of all of the remains that were found. You also have to understand that this was the Mediterranean basin where people could go from Europe, Levant. So people would come to the Levant from Western Asia. They would end up, trading traveling. People from Europe would do the same as people from other parts of North Africa. So there's so much trading and all of this shit going on. Like most of the carbon dated remains show that these people were basically similar to what you see with Southern Europeans and Western Asians. I mean, these were people that were definitely not black. I wouldn't call them white, but they were not black.
It is 2026, and if you practice mindfulness, you are in the now moment, as opposed to the history hypnosis stupidity lesson that you are all listening to at the present moment. If you want to practice mindfulness, you'll know to just go with the flow. Stop with your history hypnosis bullshit. It's a waste of time. Nobody cares. And if you are gonna go see the Matt Damon movie, go to the gym, read a book, do anything for your life than consume the bullshit media. And it's just like Clubhouse. A lot of the people on here are spamming you with stupid shit. Hello?
Go read a book. Go read a book. Go read a book.
You know what's crazy? I just don't understand how we get here because Pepe can't conceive the idea of a black woman playing this role in 2026. Now,
Appropriation.
well, I get that. I get
I'm gonna
that.
help you. I'm gonna tell you why.
But at the very base of it,
Can I go? At some
Yeah,
point.
I'll
That's
go
the form of
after.
activism. That's at the end of the day,
Okay.
it's activism.
So, Pepe, I gotta go to bed. Let me go ahead real quick.
No, it's not. No, it's not, bro.
Okay, so, wait, Brother Philly, hold on. So real quick, okay.
Hold up. I'm trying to get a little order in here.
Okay.
Go ahead, and then Mother, you can take over after Philly. Go ahead, Philly.
Okay.
Thanks, Mother.
In the chat, so thank you for letting me speak real quick. I posted a link in the chat. It's because you're not gonna get nominated for an Oscar unless you have that diversity into the movie. Like those are the movies that get nominated and win Oscars. And I posted the Oscars website link that you need to have that type of criteria to even be nominated.
Got a point.
No, he's 100% absolutely correct there. That is true.
The one thing I did want to say and highlight to America's benefit is it was interesting when they had the Black Mermaid situation, right? Everyone was losing their mind because it was a Black Mermaid. And actually, from a financial perspective, in the U.S. market, and actually the movie didn't do terrible, right? Actually, it did quite well, right? So, but when you went internationally, they got a bunch of racist backlash in China and in the Philippines, and it tanked overseas. So, like most of the American public is usually relatively okay with these type of castings.
Similar to Helen of Troy, like
Stop it, Pepe, stop it. Let me finish my statement, all right? Oh, I'm almost done, I promise. I'm almost done. So the second thing I was going to say, I was actually looking into it. Apparently, this is not the first time a black woman has been cast as Helen of Troy in a movie. Apparently, there was a 1950 version of it in Paris that had a black female as the main star playing Helen of Troy. And the other thing I was going to say was, they're just playing the statistics of the country, right? Like, both the country's getting more diverse. And the American audience doesn't really care, except for some anti-black people that are slowly dying.
No, that's not true. That's a lot.
They are not. They are no.
Don't lie like that.
Why are people being triggered?
Because your mind is lying.
So y'all are real mad. What? This is not that serious.
Just let Mother land. Go ahead, Mother.
Okay, I'm almost done. 30 seconds, right? The only people that you hear bringing this up are people who already hate black people. Nobody else cares. It's 2026. Nobody
Okay,
cares.
well you're wrong because I don't hate black people. So.
Let me talk real quick. So with Ariel, no one really cared, but with this is a little bit different. This is cultural appropriation, right? And we started talking about cultural appropriation. This is how it is for all aspects. So everything has to be equal. So I'm from the Mediterranean, and at the end of the day, yeah, it doesn't have to be a Mediterranean actor to play this, but it has to be European because genetically all Europeans were a mix of 3 things, right?
Bingo.
It's a mix of.
But it's a mythological mythology, Vinny.
Yes, it is mythology.
Let her speak.
That's some bullshit. Let me finish. First of all Europeans are a mix of 3 things. Western hunter-gatherer, Pontiac steppe, and Anatolian farmer. That's all Europeans. Africa, like literally from Ethiopia to like Sudan, there's a bigger difference than.
This movie only reinforces structural white racism and colonial settler capitalism.
One of the things, so you touched on the Little Mermaid. Now, we can draw the parallels between, so Helen of Troy is part of Greek mythology. So in other words, this is not a person we can actually point to in reality. However, it was a person that was Greek. Now,
Salt wife. But wait, okay, so before we get to that, I think I gave you the answer. Where's the part about the electoral vote? I didn't hear that this time.
Also, I heard a big whoosh, which sounds like a transition or an edit. That was right. El Normo, you don't fucking watch the whole goddamn interview. Quiet. You go watch it on YouTube. Quiet.
Y'all fighting over.
Nobody's fighting. I just want to hear what he says.
Hold on, let me go on mute so I can get to it. Hold on.
Okay. I mean, in his first administration, the director of the FBI tried to blackmail him and got fired for it. And then an agent said that he had an insurance policy on Trump.
Going back to constitutional law here, but I don't want to continue to have a debate about this, but I believe he had the most electoral votes. So he won the election. Who won the 2020 election?
Wait, stop right there. So his answer is that Biden had... Hold on, wait.
That's right, with the committee.
So he's saying that Biden had the most electoral votes, correct?
I believe he had the most electoral votes.
And who was the he in that thing? What's that? I can't hear it.
It doesn't specify. Is anything that I just said not on?
Yes,
you're not being on.
Well, that's an answer. So it depends on who had the most electoral votes. I assume that he means Biden, because Biden did have the most electoral votes.
In a deposition like this, you can't assume it.
Well, sure you can. Who had the most electoral votes? Sure. There's only two candidates. It was either
and they're
Trump
both
or Biden.
And they're both a he, right?
Yeah.
They're both a he.
Yes.
So how does that
But
justify?
the question is, what does he mean? Now, does anybody know?
That's why they questioned him again and said who won the 2020 election.
And he said he had the most electoral votes, so presumably it's Biden.
No, you don't presume.
Why not?
When you're answering a question, you don't just presume. You have to justify.
I'm not saying that we do. I'm saying that factually it's clear that he means Biden.
No, it's not.
Well, but Biden did have most electoral votes.
He might think that Trump had the most electoral votes.
But Trump did. But Trump did.
Come on, Jeremy. Come on. He meant the guy who didn't blow Bubba. Had the most votes. That's who it was.
Bubba did.
But Trump did, I believe he did. Trump did.
Right. I think that's why I think there's something missing from the thing.
Yeah, it's all coming up.
All right.
El Normo, who won the 2020 election?
Right?
See how easy that is? How come he didn't just say that and specify?
Because he chose not to. He's not me. I don't write his lines.
Who writes his
I know, you're a bigger asshole.
He writes his own lines.
Hello, excuse me, moderators. This is Progressive. I would like to address the room title.
Of course. But I think that's why I said something seems to be ended.
That's all he said. He said, I'm not gonna play.
It's not clear. There's something's wrong.
I'm not gonna play this with you. I'm not gonna do this.
Well, you would lose. If you played it, you would lose.
Norm, easy solution. Go online, get a transcript.
Norm, I do believe that he tried to go around the answer because he knows that, it's his loyalty to Trump, right? Trump has been saying that.
Well, that's a presumption. I think he said Biden had the most electoral votes.
He said, I believe he had the most electoral votes.
And in that sentence, who is the he?
We know who Biden is talking about.
He's Biden, right? Okay, great. So case closed. I'm glad we resolved that. Great. So that's it. So they're just making theater about it.
No.
No. You couldn't disagree with Patty now?
He couldn't specify who he meant.
I think there's
I
something.
believe he got the most electoral votes. He didn't say he won. He said, I believe he got the most electoral
Well, that's
votes.
who wins. The person who gets the most electoral votes wins the election, obviously.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that.
You should tell Trump that. Because he thinks he won, even though he had less electoral votes.
You refuse to answer a basic question about who won a presidential election, which you asked to lead America's intelligence community.
Lydia, that's kind of embarrassing and maybe a little concerning if intelligence is what he wants to have the job doing. If he can't just state a fact, how can he do that other job?
He'd been asked, I think, 3 times at that point, and he did mince words. I would like to just say yes and put an end to the discussion. There's a lot of theatrics at these kind of hearings. John Ossoff got his soundbite. Republicans kind of do the same thing. They love to ask, what is a woman? Ketanji Brown Jackson couldn't answer. A lot of people still can't answer that question. So to me, it's theatrics. I do have to say, it's funny.
By the way, Soren, because you went here the past maybe 2 days, I'm having some
glad to have Jay Clayton and Todd Blanchard who are eminently qualified for these jobs. And I think at the end of the day, it's a question: do you want Jay Clayton or do you want Bill Pulte? I actually think that the two people that were on the Hill today. Wait, hold on. The two people that were on the Hill today. I know you're trying to get a social media clip, Charles, but I think Sabina was trying to talk. I know you're trying to get your social media clip. I answered your question already, but I'm also not here to answer to you. So, why
I'm happy that you told me that because I really appreciate. I'm sorry. I really appreciate you lecturing me about what I'm here to do because I'm here because Abby Show invited me here, and I've been in journalism for a very long time. In fact, I came to the New York Times the year that you were born. So I suggest that you choose a lane that is your own and stay in it, and don't lecture me. I won't be lectured by a child. Thank you.
All right, look. So I think to what Lydia was saying about these people being qualified, I would disagree that these are qualified individuals. I think what you saw on the Hill were two people that are quite grossly not qualified for the offices that they're seeking and will do the bidding to the point that you're making. They're supposed to serve the American people. The Attorney General is meant to be a check on the administration, on the president, and it's meant to be objective and serving the public. And what you saw today, even when Todd Blanche slipped up and said, I'm the president's lawyer, you're actually not. You're actually the lawyer, the Attorney General for the public. And so I think what was displayed on Capitol Hill today, yes, you're right, they're worth theatrics, but they weren't wrong. I mean, facts are facts. I mean, who won the election in 2020? Is the sky blue? I mean, that is a very easy question that could have been answered, and yet there was a struggle. So I do think you have unqualified people up there. I do think the Senate ultimately probably rallies around these two individuals. And I would say that on the Clayton issue, there are people who, our friend Ellie Honig in the last hour made a very compelling case that he is